Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we're covering advanced schedule and dispatch for busy teams. This webinar will cover schedule settings and options for maximum efficiency, schedule workflows and best practices, and schedule reports to stay in the know about your appointments and schedule and dispatch in your system. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you'll be able to get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. The first thing we're going to take a look at is, and this one is pretty simple. You may have set this already, but sometimes it does get overlooked. And that is to set your time zone. In the very top right of your screen, you will see a time zone marker here. Click on that. And you want to make sure that you're setting your time zone correctly so that when you're scheduling, it's actually showing you the correct time zone here. If this is the wrong time zone, you may think it's one time and your customer thinks it's another. So it's very important you have your time zone set right here. That's a simple one. Select your time zone and hit Save Time Zone. Next, we are going to take a look at some settings. We're going to go to Settings in the top right, Call and Notifications, Appointment Notification. Now, when you're creating an appointment, you will have appointment notifications at the bottom. And you can actually preset your defaults for these. And so just to give you an example here, I'm going to go back to the schedule page. If I click new, let's add our customer. I'm scheduling, doing my normal thing. At the very bottom here, we have appointment notifications and reminders. You can set these to a default. So if you like having a certain assemblage of these turned on and off, you can preset those from this settings page. So again, that's settings, call and notifications, appointment notifications. And then from here, you can toggle these on and off and hit save. And whatever default you set here, that will then apply on all appointments that you make as a default. And of course, you can change them per customer as you are scheduling. Next, we're going to go to call and notifications. So let's go to settings, call and notifications. And there are two options here. You have email notifications and text notifications. I am going to use the email notifications as our example today, and just know that everything that you set on email notifications, you will need to also set on text notifications. So let's go to the email notifications tab. Now, for some context here, your system will automatically send notifications out to your customers based on different actions that you do in the system. This page is where you can customize what those messages say. Now, your system does come with some defaults. So by default, if you never update this, it's still fine. We know the industry. We have some very generic messaging in here that does work and will get you by. But I really recommend that you come here and update these based on your brand message and how you want to be seen by your customers. For example, when an appointment is scheduled, it will send out this message that you see here. Each of these tabs allow you to see the message that will be sent. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see a preview of what your customer will see when they receive that message. I know someone just joined. Welcome on in. Just to let you know, we are recording our session, so you will be able to watch a replay of this to catch what you may have missed. I'll show you where to watch those replays at the end, but welcome on in. So update the messaging here based on how you want this to be seen by your customer. Maybe you have a slogan you want to add. Maybe you want to update your contact information that is in here. And we have something here called smart fields. And these fields on the side will allow you to enter them into the message, and it will pull data from your system to make this a very customized message. So for example, right now, this says there is a time frame. So, when this message goes out, it may just say by default that we'll be there at 1 p.m. But maybe you do your scheduling in time frames instead of a specific time. And so I've already set up an example for this. I went ahead and just clicked into here. I wrote time frame, and then I clicked on appointment time right here, dash appointment end time. So this, now when the customer sees this, it'll say, we'll be there between, 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. instead of saying, we'll be there at 1 p.m. So that's just an example of how you can edit this and use some of these smart fields. Another example would be right now it says hello customer full name. So when they receive the message, it'll say hello John Doe, for example. But maybe I want it to be a little more personal. So I would just delete this field, click the other field that I want. I just want it to say that my customer's first name, and then your system will recognize the name of the customer that you are scheduling with and update it. So we can see here it's already updated to hello John instead of hello John Doe. You also can update this for appointment reminders, appointment cancellations, appointment updates, maintenance plan, scheduling, your tech en route message. So when your tech is on the way to a job, they can hit on my way and it will automatically send a message to the customer letting them know they're on the way. From here, you can actually add a tech image, which we'll look at a little bit in just a second as well. But as long as you have an image saved to your user's profile, your technician, you can come here and click tech image. And then when your customer receives this message saying that, Dustin is on the way, it'll show a picture of Dustin because I've uploaded that to his user page. And that's nice for your customer. They're able to see your logo and see exactly who is going to be showing up to their door. As a tip, the exact same thing I just went over is available for text notifications. That is just a separate page, and this allows you to make your email messaging a little different from your text messaging if you want to. This has all the same parameters, and it shows you an example of what the text will look like versus what the email looks like. All right, moving right along, we're going to go to settings, customers and scheduling. And we're actually going to take a look at all of these, starting with business hours. Your business hours page, this is internal. This is saying when your hours of operation are, but this is not something that's customer facing. This is more for scheduling purposes. So right now we can see I have it set to where we work Monday through Friday, closed on Saturday and Sunday, open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I put in some special hours here saying that we are closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas. Set this up to your liking and hit save. Once you do this, you will be able to see that reflected on the schedule page. So since I set 8 a.m. as the first hour of my day, now we can see 8 a.m. is where my day starts. And then if I use the little scroll bar down here, I can just drag that over it and we can see everything that is not in our hours of operation is grayed out. Now I can still click in here and schedule in the gray area. It's not going to prevent me from scheduling there, but it will let me know, like, hey, this is outside of your business hours, and maybe you would want to add an after hours pricing default or something like that. But that is business hours. Next is customer preferences. So we're going to go to settings, customers and scheduling, customer preferences. This page is really just very simple. Customer preferences. This is allowing you to auto-generate a customer number. This will be off by default, but if you, so in your system, when you create an appointment, it will create a job, and all job numbers are auto-created in succession. So as you create jobs, it'll make a job number, and that's typically what you're following when you're looking through your jobs. However, if you want, in addition to that, a customer number, you can turn on auto generate customer number, and then that will, when you add a new customer, it will give them a customer number that you can then use. And you can also set how you want your customers to look when, let's say, you're searching your customer list. This also relates to how it will sync down to QuickBooks. So you have a couple options here. Maybe you like seeing first name first, maybe you like seeing last name first. This is up to you, personal preference. Once you make your selection, click save, and then that will be reflected when you are creating customers. Next, we're going to look at coverage zones. So we will go to settings, customers and scheduling, coverage zones. Now, this is a feature, some of my customers, they do not use this feature at all. This is personal preference on how you would want to use this. Other customers, they love this feature and use it to be more efficient for scheduling and making sure that their technicians are working in a more concentrated zone. So, what is a coverage zone? Coverage zones are zones that you can map out in your service area, and then you can assign technicians to each zone. If you try to schedule a technician in a zone that is not assigned to them, your system will let you know. It'll say, hey, this is outside of the coverage zone for Dustin. Maybe you want to consider putting him back in his zone. And the reason why you would do this, the benefit of this is for schedule efficiency. If you service a very wide area, you may have someone who's on the other side of town and someone who's more close by, and it will prevent from your routes crossing, your routes being too long. It can save on gas, wear and tear on your vehicles, and probably most importantly, it will make the wait times for your customers lower because you're isolating the areas that everyone is working within, and then they can just work in that smaller area throughout the whole day. To set up a coverage zone, you can see I already have some examples here, but to set one up for yourself, you will click Add New, enter the name of the zone. You can put a zone description if you want, it's not required. You can select who you want to assign to this zone. And now it's time to draw the zone. So when you hit that create new, it's going to put you in draw mode. And so I can come down here and start clicking, and you see I have a little line here, and click around. And you can get detailed afterwards, so kind of draw out the general shape of the area you want the zone to be in. And when you're done, you can actually just double click, and that creates the zone. Then you can hold down Control or Command if you're on a Mac, and use your scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in and out. And you can zoom in, you can click and drag to move this around. And there's little dots here, and I can start to move these dots to make this more detailed. And each time I move a dot, another dot will appear. So you can actually get very detailed on where these zones are. When you're done, you'll click Save. That will then save the zone. So we can see, here's our new zone. If you want to edit the zone, let's go down, hit edit, and you can edit as needed. And if you want to delete, you just click delete zone and delete. So that is coverage zones. Next, let's take a look at referral sources. So we're going to go to settings, customers and scheduling, referral list. Now, referral sources, this is saying, where did your customer hear about your company? Like, where is your business coming from? Which is always really important to know when you are doing marketing campaigns and determining where to put your money into advertising and things like that. It's always good to know where your business is coming from. Here is where you can set your referral sources. You will click New Referral Source, enter in where they heard about you. Maybe there was a HVAC convention. Oh my goodness. Hopefully you can spell better than I do, and hit save. And then you are able to wait, refresh. I may have done something wrong. New referral, HVAC, save. There we go. Okay, I must have misclicked. And now this is customized. So you enter in where you know your customers are coming from. And then when you are scheduling, which we'll show an example of this when we get into the workflows portion of this, um, you can just tag every new customer that comes in where they heard about your business. You can literally just ask them when you're talking to them and adding them, hey, how'd you hear about us? Oh, my neighbor got a service from you like a month ago, and I thought I would work with you as well. So you would just assign word of mouth as an example. Next, we're going to talk about setting up lead sources. And so we're going to go to settings, marketing, and you'll just click on marketing, and that will bring you to here. Now, lead sources, those are similar to referral sources, but this is defining leads. This is thinking um, more of like marketing campaigns. If you want to do a marketing campaign in your system, you can set different types of leads. So you can categorize and target those leads as you are scheduling. So from here, we would click the red plus button, enter in the lead source name. You can even add a description here if you want. Here's some examples. Angie's List, email. Maybe there was a specific email marketing campaign that you got a lead from, and you would add those here. And then when we are doing our workflow, I'll show you how that factors in. We have an entire lead source section where you can actually track opportunities, and you'll be able to see those opportunities on your job to then either win or lose the contract. All right. Next, we are going to some user permissions. So we'll go to settings, user management, users. From the users page, the first thing is we talked earlier about adding a tech image, and you will do this by going to the actual user. So I'm just going to click on Dustin Bailey here. And right here, it says profile picture. And actually, let's see what this says. This picture is used to identify users in the system and can also be sent if added to customer notifications. So number one, it is nice to just add a profile picture. So when you are on the schedule page, you'll see their bright smiling face right here on the schedule page, which is nice just for you in general to easily recognize who these people are. But the scenario we talked about earlier is if you add the tech image smart field that we showed, it will send whatever profile picture you upload. And this is where you do that. Click choose file, select the image. You'll open that and save. That will then update here. You'll see it on the schedule page. And then when the technician, let's say Dustin is sitting in the truck, he's going to hit on my way. That will send a message to the customer, which will then include the picture you uploaded here. And on this same page, we have some permissions and visibility as it relates to scheduling. Number one, tech skill level. So you can tag which skill level this technician is. And then when you're scheduling, you can see this and you can say, like, oh, this is a really big, heavy, expensive install. I want to send my experts out to this. Or, we're sending the rookies out to switch out filters, things like that. Also, under permissions, we have appointment visibility. So let's say I'm a technician and I am set in my permission here to all appointments. From the mobile app, I'll be able to see all of my appointments and everyone else's appointments in the whole company. If you have a team that works together, that's perfect. I get done with my jobs for the day. I look, I see Joe has something. I'm going to go help him on that job. I'll just drive out to the address because I have all the information I need right there looking at Joe's calendar. However, maybe you don't want that. Maybe you don't want your technicians to be looking at what jobs everybody has. So in that case, you can change the visibility here. We have a lot of different options. All appointments for me, for example, will only show the appointments that are assigned to me, to this user. Uh, but I will be able to see all customer appointments, history, information, job history, equipment, because I can go back in the past and I can look in the future of all time. Maybe you want to restrict how much they're seeing. So then right here, there's another example. This one's also popular. My appointments for a week plus or minus 7 days. So I'll be able to see everything that I'm doing this week, last week, and a week ahead, but I won't be able to go to a customer that I helped 2 months ago and take a look at their customer information and, maybe call them on the weekend, which we do not want. So this just allows you to be a little more in control of what your technicians are seeing as it relates to appointments. Next, let's take a look at some customer page preferences. So we're going to go to our customer, Mary Smith. You can search for your customer just by typing their name here. And we are on my customer, Mary Smith's page. And there's a couple of things here as it relates to schedule and dispatch. So I love this feature. If you scroll down on the right, you can set a preferred technician. So we all know how important customer satisfaction is. And if you have a customer who just loves one of your technicians, they say, please send Dustin every time. That's my favorite person. It's good to know that. So if you set a preferred technician from here, which you can do just by clicking the drop down, searching for who you want and selecting, then click save. When I am scheduling, I'll be able to see if there's a preferred technician, and then I can see if they're available and send them out, which is always a good feeling for the customer. If I say I love this person and then I see them every time, I know that you're a company that cares about me. So it's just good vibes having this set up. Next, there is a quick action on the customer page to create an appointment. So in our beginner training that we did earlier today, everything we did was from the schedule page. But just know you can actually schedule appointments from the schedule page. You can schedule them from the customer page, and you can schedule them from the job page. So there's many places where you can actually start and schedule an appointment. This example on the customer page, in the quick action section, right here, it says schedule an appointment. A scenario would be you are talking to the customer. They haven't exactly told you what's going on yet, but you are proactively typing in their name, going to their customer page, and now you have all their history right here, and they're telling you, hey, this is, messed up. I don't have any air. Can you come out and help? No problem. Instead of having to click over to the schedule, you could just schedule their appointment right from here. Click schedule an appointment, and we're off to the races. This is the exact same schedule modal that you have on the schedule page. It's just in a different spot. Also, if you offer maintenance plans on the customer page, there is a maintenance plan tab here. And for example, we are saying that Mary Smith is part of the Comfort Club plan. And I can see here are the visits that we need to do. I mean, in this scenario, we can see that we missed an appointment. So maybe I want to look into this. But you can actually just schedule right from here by clicking the calendar icon. And now you are scheduling the appointment. And most importantly, if you're doing it from the maintenance plan tab, it's going to auto select the maintenance plan job so that this appointment is connected to the maintenance plan. What's really nice about this is when this is completed, you'll be able to very quickly see right from here that they have a completed maintenance, and then we have one more we need to do. So this is a good place to be able to see individually what's going on with our maintenance visits for this customer. All right, so those are just some back-end settings that you'll want to take a look at, make sure that that gets set up, and all of that is going to then relate to when you're actually scheduling. And so now we're going to move on to our workflows and best practices. So to do this, we are going to go to the schedule page just by clicking schedule here in the top left. And we're going to create a new appointment. Now, earlier today, we did a new customer appointment, but you can also make internal events. And so I'm going to show you how to do that now. Click new. And instead of choosing customer appointment, you will select other event. Other event is great for internal events. Maybe you have a sales meeting in the mornings every Wednesday. Maybe it's someone is out sick, doctor's appointment, or even putting in people's birthdays. So you can see just right on the calendar if it's someone's birthday that day. But these are customizable and they are not customer facing. You will type in the event name. Let's say that someone is going to be out for the day at a doctor's appointment. We will put in that they are sick. Also, from the event type, if you click the drop down right here, it says add new event type. I believe there's like 4 or 5 of these that come by default, but maybe it doesn't cover exactly what you need. You can just make your own event type here. Click add new event type, birthday, and hit the plus button or the check here. So you can make your own event types to say whatever you want. You can update what the color is from here. Click on the little square and you can set a frequency. You can even say like where this is happening. And you can assign this to users if you want. Maybe you just want it to be for one person, or if you're making a meeting for everyone, you could assign it to all users. So you can choose by dispatch group and you can choose by individual employees. Let's say that we're doing it for Caleb. He's going to be out all day tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can write a description in here if you need. My man is sick. And then schedule. And if we go to tomorrow, there we go. So, maybe not as prominent as your customer appointments, but equally as important. And then if you try to schedule Caleb on the 8th, it'll let you know, hey, he's at a doctor's appointment, not available today. So it's a great way to use other appointments or sorry, other events. Next, we're going to run through an appointment together and we're going to take a look at some of the features that dive a little deeper into what's available when scheduling. So to do this, let's go ahead and go back to today's date and we will click New, search for our customer. And there's a couple things here. So number one, you're talking to the customer, you're creating the appointment, and they say, hey, I actually moved, or maybe they got a new rental property that they want you to go out and do an inspection, but it's a new address. You've never serviced this location before. Now, normally you would add locations from the customer page, but you're on the phone with the customer. You don't want to have to back out of this and go over to your customer page to add an address. You can just do that right from the appointment modal here by clicking the Edit button and click the plus sign here. And now you can add in their new address, hit save. That will add as a sublocation on the customer page, but then it adds it here, and this will then be a new address that you will send your technician out to. So nice, easy way to just add addresses, update location information without having to leave this page. Next is show lead. Some of you may have seen this and clicked on it and gone, what the heck is this? So this is at first hidden, or it's not hidden, but it's the drop down is not down by default. So you do need to click show lead. And this is what we set up earlier when we went to the lead sources page. So this is let's say I want to say, this is a new lead. This is someone who I know we can get some business from. And so they came from the fall email promotion that we sent out. And let's say you run a marketing campaign in the fall, you'll get 10% off any service as long as you call us, in this time frame. Customer calls you, hey, I saw your fall promotion. Oh, great. You click in here, you'll say fall promotion because that you've already set up as a lead source. You can add a description if you want. This is a new lead. I think this is going to be a great, relationship with this new customer. And then you can even set this as an opportunity here if you want. And what this will do is this will just tick on the opportunity tab on the job. So when I create this, if I hit schedule, an opportunity is turned on. Let's actually see what this says. If this is set to on, the job will be considered a sales opportunity and used in the close rate calculation. So in your reporting, maybe you are tracking system replacements. And this person says, my system is like 15 years old. It's probably time to get a new one. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do it yet, but it may be time. Great opportunity here. So you would turn on opportunity, maybe, new system. And then when you save this, when you go to the job, it will show, hey, this is an opportunity. And then maybe your field technician, when they're out there doing whatever job this is, they can say, oh, hey, you want to talk more about that system replacement? And then you can get a sale that maybe you wouldn't have gotten before. So great way to track leads and really attack higher volume ticket items. Next, let's take a look at Actually, I think we still, hold on, let me check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything before we move on. Oh, yes, yes. So down below, um, you probably already know about appointment. You know, we're going to schedule now our service request, but we have other tabs here as well. You can see every call and note that has been recorded for this location from here. You can even edit those notes on the fly from here if you need to. You can see balances. Here's how much this person owes, and it's broken down per invoice. So if they haven't paid you in a while, maybe you want to bring that up while you're scheduling a new appointment. And then if they have any maintenance plans, it will show you which plan that you're on and if they have any services. So right now it says this customer has an unfilled service window at this location. And then maybe you want to bring that up when you're talking to the customer. You can also see equipment information, any equipment that's added either from the office or from the mobile side will be seen here. So you can just very quickly and easily know what equipment is on hand at this location. So these different tabs here do give you a lot of quick glance information when you are scheduling. Okay. Now, in terms of scheduling, typically Schedule Now is going to allow you to create a single day and time appointment. But maybe you want to set the frequency to be a multi-day appointment or a very long extended project. To do this, you will click Show Advanced. And now we have a little more options here on what we want to do. So if I hover over this eye here, it gives me some examples. Maybe I want to set this every weekday, every 2 weeks on Tuesdays, every week on Monday, Wednesday, every 6 months. So you just type in what you want. Maybe I want this to happen every weekday, and it's going to start uh, today, and let's say it will end on the 16th. And so this is saying recurring appointment info. It's going to happen every weekday until January 16th, 2026. And then I can set my time. You know, maybe this is a really big project that is like multi-day, all-day thing. So let's say this is an 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. situation for Caleb. And then you can add notes. So, you know, you do your normal thing that you would do here and hit schedule. And now we can see as I'm clicking through that that has been set. So that's the weekend. We're back to Monday. And now that's one event, but it's taking up multiple days. Okay. We are getting towards the end here. We have one more section. We're going to look at some scheduling reports, and then we'll dive into our Q&A. I typically like to give about 15 minutes for our Q&A. So if you have questions or if there's anything that I missed that maybe you want to dive deeper into, let me know when we get to that. For reporting, you will go to the reporting page. From here, you will click reporting in the main navigation. And we have a ton of reports. And I actually really like that they give you a little sentence of like what each of these mean. And we have a couple that relate specifically to appointments. So we're going to look at under jobs, the appointments report. And yeah, let's just go individually. So first, let's look at appointments. You'll click on this. That will bring you to the appointments report. And this is exactly what you would think. This is all of your appointments in your system. It shows you the appointment date and time, customer, location, job number, job name. You can even see which technician has been scheduled for these and any tags that have been set. You can isolate by job type, status, whether it was confirmed or not by the customer. Maybe I want to see all the appointments that Alex did last week. Maybe I want to look at all of my HVAC versus all of my plumbing. And so a great way just to look at all of your appointments in bulk and isolate those through filters here. So this is the appointments report. Maybe for you, you're coming here to see hours scheduled versus hours worked and see if anyone has, missed an appointment. Like, hey, you were scheduled for an hour on the first, but you didn't clock any hours. So what's going on with that? So this is your appointments report. Next, we have appointments and service requests. This is similar, but dives just a little deeper. This includes service requests as well. And then from here, you are able to search by type, appointment status, which if a appointment was missed, maybe a workflow, a scenario you may be in is I got a lot of technicians out there. I've done my best to teach everyone how to clock in and out, but maybe they forgot. And so you could come here and just look for missed appointments, meaning that no time was tracked on it. And maybe they did go out and do the job, they just didn't, put anything in. So you can very quickly isolate that and see if any appointments have been missed. So that's a kind of a workflow tip on using this report. Also, if you click the choose a format to download, you can download this as a Excel file, PDF, or PowerPoint. And this is just a great place to see appointments and service requests. And then we will look at maintenance plan appointment scheduling. So if you are going to schedule maintenance plan appointments, this is huge. This will be your best friend. So everything we've talked about has been, kind of single serving appointments. If you are doing maintenance plans, you may want a central hub for that specific type of event. And this is where you can do that. So from here, you are able to see all of your maintenance plan visits in your system. And then you can update the filters here. So what would be a best practice? Let's say that you are having your technicians sign your customers up for maintenance plans in the field. They become maintenance plan customers in your system. But now it's time to, tis the season for the fall cleanings or, whatever type of services you're providing. And you want to know, who do I owe a service to right now? We need to start scheduling these. You can do all that scheduling from this page in bulk without ever having to go to the schedule page. So to do this, for this scenario I'm talking about, we want to see, who do I owe a service to right now? So I'm going to get rid of future by clicking the X, and I'm going to get rid of next because we want to see everyone who has a current maintenance plan, meaning that it is not expired, and who has who's within their current service window, and they will show up here. And so these are the people I need to reach out to. You could either call them or text them, directly, reach out to them by using their customer information here. But we also have this, which I love. Send notifications. I can select all, hit review, and hit send. And it will send a reminder to your customer that, hey, 'tis the season. It is time for us to come out and do your fall cleaning as our, gold maintenance plan member. Please contact us to schedule a time for your visit. They give you a call. You're able to either go to their customer page, which we looked at earlier, and schedule their maintenance, or you can do it right from here by clicking unscheduled, and the same schedule modal shows up. You could, if you want to, so this is just another workflow practice, even before the customer confirms the date and time, you could come in here and say, I know I need to service everybody here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on scheduled and create a service request for everybody that we owe a service to right now, and fill out, the information, maybe write notes. And I know something about this customer, so I'm going to make some notes there for them. And then when they actually do confirm that date and time, you can just go to the maintenance job and schedule it, or you can schedule it right from here and update it. It will also show on the schedule page. So if you make a bunch of service requests for maintenance, you'll see that in the work queue. And then customer calls, you could come into here and search for the customer name. You find it, and now we're scheduling. Just click and drag and move it over. All right, so that is all the information that we have for today's presentation. Before we go, I do want to remind you, we do have a holiday promotion going on right now. If you refer a friend that owns a business and they would use WEX FSM, if they sign up as a new customer and have been referred by you, you will be entered to win a Traeger Tailgater grill. Say that 5 times fast. And you'll earn a $500 credit on your account, which will then go towards paying your next bill. And the person who signs up will get a $500 credit as well to go towards their bill. If you are interested in that, we do have an article about it. You can just go to the Help Center and type in WEX FSM Holiday Referral Promotion. Last thing before I take some questions, if you go to the Help Center, if you want to watch a replay of today's session, you will go to the Help Center, Video Courses and Webinars, and then scroll down to Past Webinars. And I will be uploading the new ones right here for 2026. All right, so hopefully you guys learned something, and I am opening this up for questions. You can either type those in the chat or feel free to unmute and just talk to me directly.